in your position especially, you don't have to worry about what's fashionable or what's trendy or whatever. I mean, you guys actually, one of the great accomplishments of the Rolling Stones that never gets talked about is you were never a pop band, actually. You just happened to cross over for 40 or 50 years, right?
I know. You read my mind, yeah. We never intended it. We got famous by accident. And through also an incredible frontman. I mean, here I have to lift the old hat to Mick Jagger.
You were known as the Chuck Berry guy, even then, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was on the more, on that side of
on that side of the tracks, right? And so when
Brian was Elmore James,
right,
where Brian and Jones and I really clicked and met was on Jimmy Reed, and that's where we found, as we call the ancient form of weaving,
right, the double
with
guitar.
the double guitars and the way they can slide and even in a very sparse setting, And Brian and I really met was with Jimmy Reed stuff, and then we branched out into Muddy Waters, and it was the spirit of the thing that caught everybody, I think.
You and the Beatles and the other, what we call the British Invasion bands, really set the template for us.
I think there was a thing going on in America at the time that was very sort of set, and you weren't listening to the right. You had Fabian and Frankie Avalon.
We didn't have the bands.
And Bobby Vinton's and
there was no bands.
You had plenty of bands, but you weren't listening to them on the other end of the dial.
I guess, right, that's the way to put it.
We couldn't believe it when we first got to New York and they had a car and that radio, man. Get up there in the end, and then there's blues, rhythm and blues, and some funky shit going on that white people weren't listening to. And it was, as the usual, man. It ain't changed now, really.
True. But I never heard of those guys. I never heard of Muddy Waters till you told me about them. Chuck Berry.
That's weird, and I mean, a bunch of English guys should know more about Southern blues and Chicago blues. I mean, our heroes were Billy Boy Arnold and Eddie Taylor and Muddy and Howlin' Wolf, Little Walter Jacobs, and they've never. We come to America, they've never heard of them. You're going like, whoa.
So the good news was we thought you were inventing it all.
Well,
you can take
brothers
the
did.
Amazing.
There's blind spots in everything. At the time, American music had a little bit into a rote. He looks pretty. Give him a song, Although obviously there was some great records by me, the Shirelles, on the black end of the market, baby. There was some incredible stuff going on, which we picked up on in England, and brought it back to you because for some reason you cats weren't listening to, because this is the beginning of Motown. I'm talking,
True.
Hey Money had just come out, but we could listen to Bobby Bland, all kinds of stuff. And to find out that actually where it came from, white America weren't listening to it. The great thing that came out of all of this was that Johnny Johnson got a new career. And when he did go out, he'd been recognized for what he was as a blues genius piano player, and that's the way I wanted, and that makes me feel good about Ian Stewart, because he said, don't forget, Johnny Johnson's alive and playing us and this.
Amazing,
And through Chuck Berry, I managed to bring, but it happened that Johnny resurrected, and I just love the way it happened.
This is a great package, as you can see, folks. The tweed cover comes from
Tweed.
We just happen to have one.
Tweed. The box. Wood.
This is how organic this whole thing is. It comes from the wood from Fender guitars and the tweed cover, right? There's a great booklet inside as well.
There's
telling
a
us-
record too.
Oh yeah, there's a record too, folks. and some really fun outtakes, and it's just a really enjoyable to listen to because you're listening to a real organic band just doing their thing, man. It's very, very natural and so refreshing to hear this, So I'm glad you put it out again. Anyway, good to see you, man.
You too, Steve. Yeah, man.
All right, baby. Good to see you.
You too, Steve.
See you down the road.